According to protesters, it is the RSF militia loyal to the old regime. Some people there even told us they recognised the hats, the distinctive red hats that those militiamen wear during the clashes yesterday. But that's not the only version of events that's being put out there. We also have the US Embassy that issued a statement tonight. They're blaming the military council itself that's responsible for transition and says that in a process of trying to move barricades during the yesterday evening, and an exchange of tear gas happened, and that's when those clashes occurred and lives were lost. But either way, the next big question is then, why did violence break out now, having been relatively quiet here for a month or so? And one other thing that happened yesterday was that we saw an agreement reached between the opposition and that ruling military council as to what Sudan's future will look like. We got a little bit more detail about that yesterday. And there is a great suspicion here among many people in Sudan that remnants of the old regime want to try and stymie that process to stop democratic transition happening here. And there's that suspicion really reigns large tonight, as people believe that that's why this violence occurred, because people weren't happy with that democratic transition. Today, we've heard very little from the negotiators. Yesterday, we heard a statement being released by the military council saying they'd agreed power structures with the opposition for the future of Sudan. Now, we understand that means that Sudan will have an executive body, a legislature, and this ruling council. But we have very little details beyond that as to who precisely will sit on those bodies. Crucially, how many civilians will sit on the country's ruling body in the future, and how many members of the old guard of the military will continue to do so. We also don't know when elections will be held here. We don't know how much Sharia law will be incorporated into the country's constitution in the future. So many questions are still unanswered tonight, and we expect negotiations to resume tomorrow. Perhaps a bit more detail will be forthcoming then.